Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into a massive shift that's happening right under our noses. The huge move from search engines to answer engines. So get ready, because your entire digital strategy is about to change.
Let's just start with a really direct question, because the stakes here are incredibly high. Generative AI helpers like Google's AI Overviews, ChatGPT, and Perplexity, they're answering hundreds of millions of questions every single day. See, it's not about will people find you anymore. The real question is, will the AI even mention you?
And look, this isn't some sci-fi far-off future we're talking about. Gartner's predicting that classic, link-driven search traffic, it's going to drop by a staggering 25% by 2026. Just think about that for a second. Imagine a quarter of your organic traffic just poof, gone, because users are getting their answers directly from an AI without ever seeing a list of blue links.
And okay, this is where it gets really interesting. A recent survey from BrightEdge shows that, 68% of marketers are already throwing budget at AI search. But, and this is the kicker, only about a third of them feel like they even know how to measure success. So we're spending the money, but we're basically flying blind.
So that gap, right? That uncertainty, that's exactly why we need to talk about a whole new set of rules. This isn't just some minor update, you guys. We're talking about a completely new battleground for getting discovered online. And the name of this new game? It's Answer Engine Optimization, or AEO for short. Now listen up, because this is crucial. This is not about getting on a list anymore. It's all about optimizing your content to become the trusted source that an AI uses to actually build its answer. I mean, the difference here is just fundamental. For like 2 decades, the whole goal of SEO was get me on that list of blue links, right? In this new world of AEO, the goal is to be the answer. You're shifting from being a place people go to being the source of truth itself.
Okay, so how on earth do you actually win on this new battleground? Well, the good news is you're not alone. A whole new breed of specialized software platforms is popping up to solve this exact problem, to take all this chaos and turn it into dashboards and things you can actually fix.
All right, so let's get into it. Let's meet the leaders in this space. We're going to break down the top platforms that are really defining what AEO looks like for 2025. Okay, first up, we've got Contently. Now, you should think of these guys as the big end-to-end enterprise solution. They're really trying to cover the entire workflow, from the planning stage to actually creating stuff, all the way through to the analytics.
And they're not just talking a big game. They've got the proof. One of their case studies shows a massive 32% jump in sales-qualified leads coming directly from AI search in just 6 weeks. I mean, that's real business impact, and it's fast.
So what's their secret sauce? Well, they have this thing they call an LLM optimization blueprint that's built right into their workflow. The easiest way to think about it is, it automatically adds these special labels and structure to your content that AI engines can read and trust way more easily. And get this, if your AI visibility ever drops, they give you access to this huge network of over 160,000 creators to get your content updated right away.
Okay, next up is BrightEdge. And if Contently is all about that end-to-end workflow, BrightEdge is absolutely laser-focused on the deep dive, AI analytics, and diagnostics.
Hey, remember that stat from earlier about 68% of marketers shifting their strategy? Well, that came directly from a BrightEdge survey, which just goes to show you they have their finger right on the pulse of what's happening here.
Their absolute standout feature, though, is something called the generative parser. This thing is basically like a flight recorder for AI answers. It lets you literally replay how Google stitched together its AI overview. And that, my friends, is an absolute goldmine for figuring out why your brand was, or maybe more importantly, wasn't included in the answer.
All right, our third leader is a name that I'm sure a lot of you already know, SEMrush. And yeah, the keyword giant is making some big moves to adapt its massive platform for this new AEO era.
And their core advantage? It's just sheer scale. I mean, with an index of over 26 billion keywords, they have this historical data set that nobody else can touch. And that lets them provide incredible context for how and why AI is choosing certain sources over others.
What SEMrush does so well is pipe all this new AO data right into the dashboards that, let's be honest, you're probably already using. So with just one click, you can see if an AI answer is pulling from a website or a Reddit thread or even a YouTube video. And then you can track how often those sources are changing, which is huge.
Now, beyond those big three, there's a whole ecosystem of really specialized tools popping up. You've got Yext Scout, which is great for competitive analysis across different engines. There's Botify, which does this really cool thing where it fuses server log data with AI snapshots, super useful for e-commerce. Then you have tools like Athena HQ for tracking specific prompts. And for smaller teams, Goodie AI and Peec AI are fantastic starting points. And then on the big enterprise side, you have Profound for multilingual stuff and RankScale for running simulations. It's a busy space.
Okay, so we've covered the tools, but look, a tool is only as good as the strategy you use with it, right? So let's pivot now from the what to the how. We're going to talk about the core strategies that are bubbling up from these platforms, your new AEO playbook for 2025.
All right, here are 5 plays that are absolute winners right now. First, build prompt taxonomies. What does that mean? It means you're grouping questions by what the user actually wants, not just by keyword volume. Second, ensure schema ubiquity. Basically, use that structured data everywhere you possibly can to give the AI crystal clear signals. Third, consolidate your entities. You want to make sure your brand looks like one single authoritative thing online so the AI doesn't get confused. Fourth, create hourly monitoring loops. Seriously, these answers can change that fast. And finally, number 5, simulate before you publish. Test how an AI is going to read your content before it goes live.
All right, let's start to bring this all together. Let's focus on the biggest takeaways and what you should be thinking about next, because really, the future of discovery is all about being the answer.
Let's tackle 3 key questions I know you're probably asking. First up, is AEO replacing SEO? The answer is no. Think of it like this. SEO gets the AI bots to your website. AEO determines what they say about you once they're there. Okay, next, what's the quickest way to get started? Check out tools like Peec AI and Goodie AI. They're literally built for speed. And finally, the big one. How do you prove ROI? You've got to track how often you're being cited, how many leads are coming from AI, and the overall lift in your organic conversions.
I really want to leave you with this final, powerful idea. This AEO stuff, it's not a nice to have anymore. It's not some experiment you run next quarter. The single biggest takeaway from all of this is that 2025 is the year answer engine optimization shifts from being an experiment to being a core KPI for your business, period.
So, the final question. It's really for you. When your customer turns to an AI with a question, a problem, a need that your brand is perfectly built to solve, will your brand be the answer?